In this video, I'm gonna share with you guys several strategies that I use when I'm detailing in the sun. Now let's get straight into it. What's going on? So glad you guys are here and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. If you're a professional auto detailer who wants to become more successful and profitable in your business, or just a car enthusiast who wants to improve your detailing ability, then definitely consider hitting that big red subscribe button right below this video. So right now I'm on location detailing this Ford Raptor, and you guys can see not only is the exterior black, but also the interior is black. And so when I'm in the direct sunlight like this can become a problem, and it's a question I get all the time on the channel about how to detail cars in the sun. And so I want to take this opportunity, especially because it's a black car, to show you guys a couple strategies on this door and these panels while using not only my chemicals but also my steamer in order to get better results in the sun. So number one, just so you guys know, I'm going to be using an all-purpose cleaner that I don't normally use but that I've been using a lot, and I'm going to review it on the channel eventually. It's called Cleans All by Showcar. It's an awesome product. Now number two, I'm going to be using the non-abrasive scrub pad and the microfiber towel, as well as a couple other things. But the problem comes in when you're detailing black cars in the sun, specifically on these plastic door panels and leather pieces, because the sun makes it flash dry. So basically, flash drying is nothing more than just basically as soon as it hits the paint, or as soon as it hits the leather, or as soon as it hits the plastic or the vinyl, it starts to dry, and so you end up getting these cleaning marks or these streaks. And so you can spray your all-purpose cleaner, but if you don't address it or wipe it off fast enough, it ends up looking almost like worse than it did before, because not only is it still dirty, but it's got all these kind of spots on it. It happens a lot with leather. If you leave cleaner on leather, it kind of gives these drip marks that are really, really ugly and makes it kind of look like you don't know what you're doing. And so here's a couple ways that I avoid things like that, especially when I'm detailing black cars in direct sunlight. Number one, with my microfiber towel, I like to get it a little bit wet, and so I literally will spray a little bit of water on my microfiber because it makes it a little bit easier to spread the chemical around. So rather than having to use a ton of chemical, I can just spray a little water on here. One thing a lot of detailers end up saying is that in the sun, you have to use more chemical. Yes, you can use more chemical, but once again, another option would be to just put a little bit of water on this. It makes the chemical spread a little bit better. So I'm gonna grab my non-abrasive scrub pad, and here's what I'm gonna do. In the direct sunlight, number one, I never spray directly onto the panel or the leather or whatever I'm doing. It's just not a good idea because number one, it's not gonna spread very well, and number two, it's gonna flash dry. So once again, I'm not spraying it directly on there. I'm spraying it onto whatever applicator I'm using. In this case, a non-abrasive scrub pad. I love these. If you don't use them in your detailing world, you definitely need these. They don't scratch, but they work great to kind of more aggressively clean things. So what I'm gonna do is break this door into different sections, different panels. So I'm gonna start here with just this like upper left quadrant, and I'm not gonna do anything more than right here. Now, as I'm doing this, you guys can hear the non-abrasive scrub pad is pretty aggressive. It's not gonna scratch anything. Once again, in the camera, it tends to sound worse than it is in real life. So I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that off. Now, one thing that is important to note as I'm doing this is I'm not being super detailed. I'm trying to clean the general area, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it up. I'm splitting cleaning the doors into two different sections. We're on the first section right now. I'll explain the second strategy after we do this. But the only thing I'm trying to do here is just break it up into sections, get the general part of the door done, and then I'm gonna come in after that and be more detailed. Now, once again, you guys can see this is in direct sunlight. No, it doesn't dry, incredibly fast. I'm not trying to be over dramatic, but if I leave it here any longer, it will definitely dry. And so once again, I'm not doing a large section, just a small section at a time. So I'm gonna keep doing that until I have this whole door finished. Okay, so now what we have are all the major parts of the door finished. So when I say major parts, what I mean is just the major sections that you can break up and easily clean in a general sort of way. So this upper left piece right here, this top piece right here in the middle, place where people rest their arm, down here where people kind of kick the door closed, right? Places that I didn't really get too detailed were right here in this little air vent, right down here where you unlock and lock the door, the window button, right here behind the door handle, these cracks and crevices that go up and and down all throughout the doors. Down here where people put different things, I wasn't too detailed there because it takes more time to clean in those areas because they're more specific, they're more difficult to kind of address, they're more difficult to put things in. And so I'm leaving that for the second part of cleaning this door because I'm going to use my steamer. I'm going to be able to do it quickly, and I'm going to be able to do it in a way where in the sun I'm not having anything flash dry on me that leaves any sort of marks. So let me show you guys how that works. So once again, for the second part, I'm using my VX5000 steamer, and basically the reason I do this is because number one, for obvious reasons, it gets into these cracks and crevices in ways that are quicker and easier and probably give better results than me using like this long boar's hair brush. Yes, I could do that, but it just takes a little bit more time. You have to end up wiping the chemical out of that, and so it's just a little bit of a hassle. Number two, I'm using this because I'm in direct sunlight. This door is extremely hot, and so like even me putting my hand on it right here, I wouldn't want to leave it there too long, like it starts to burn my hand, and so it's really, really hot. And so it's so easy because I have to spend more time getting in these areas. If I leave chemical in there, which I inevitably have to do because it takes more time because it's more detailed, that chemical will dry, and then I will have to deal at some level with these, you know, kind of streaking marks, cleaning marks, the chemical drying. This VX5000 steamer is full of distilled water. So I can spray this anywhere I want, however I want. It's never going to damage anything apart from, of course, you know, holding it in one area and actually burning something. The water itself is not going to damage anything. The water doesn't have any minerals in it. So even if it dries, it's not going to dry and put watermarks. Even if it did, they would be so easily wiped off. It's not a problem. So number one, it's efficient. It's easy for me to get in all these areas. But number two, when I'm in direct sunlight, there are times when I even decide to clean the whole door by steaming it, because steaming it is going to clean it. It's going to heat all the germs up, heat all the dirt up to where it's very, very easy to remove. But number two, it doesn't dry on the plastic. And so once again, you guys know I'm a huge fan of the steamer. This is just yet another reason because I don't have to be overly cautious when I'm using it in direct sunlight. It's just like Optimum No Rinse. The reason I love it so much is because I don't have to be hyper focused and over cautious when I'm using it in the direct sun, because even if it does dry, it's not going to dry with water spots. And so again, I'm just trying to make my life easier as I'm doing all this. So the only place where I'm going to use chemical again here is down where people put stuff in this little pocket of the door. And so this is what this looks like. It's very, very simple. I'm just going to hit all the areas that I didn't get generally cleaning with the non-abrasive scrub pad, behind the door handle, window button, all these cracks and crevices. And it's very simple. I'm going to use my microfiber to clean it up. So here we go. Okay, so now the whole door is done and all the panels are done as well, and you guys kind of see my point about using the steamer in all of these cracks and crevices behind the door handle, buttons, all that sort of stuff down here. Not only was I going to use it down here anyways, but there was some gum down here that had to be literally heated up to be pulled up anyways, and so it came in handy in more ways than I thought. But once again, guys, when you're in direct sunlight, there has to be some sort of kind of shifting of your strategy, because you can't just keep doing the same things over and over. It will get very, very frustrating. Just like I'm not going to use a hose on the paint in this direct sun and on this black truck, I'm not going to do the chemical like I would if I was in a shop or if I was in a garage. I could soak this whole door in chemical and then wipe it all up and spend basically as much time as I wanted, and it wouldn't be an issue. But once again, because I'm in the direct sunlight, it does become an issue, and so I have to figure out ways around that, and the steamer becomes one of those that ends up being very, very, very helpful. So once again, I just want to reiterate the reason why the steamer works so incredibly is because it's, well, number one, it's just an amazing cleaner, but number two, it's full of distilled water, and so distilled water takes all of the caution basically out of the equation. I don't have to be cautious. I don't have to be worried about water spots. I don't have to be worried about how much I'm using, how little I'm using. I can just do it without having to be hyper focused or thinking too much or being too worried, and it ends up working very, very well. So if you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up button, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, hook up all that stuff in the YouTube comments below, because I always read those, and I'm sure to get back to you guys as fast as I can. And if you want to buy any of the things used in this video, the steamer or the chemical I used, I'm going to hook up not only the link to the steamer and the chemical, but also some less expensive steamers, so that you guys who are in the pro detailing world can get your hands on those if you're on a budget. And if you use the Amazon links in the description box below, it does give this channel a very small commission, but it helps this channel stay alive so I can continue to give out awesome content just like this all the time. And if you're new to the Wilson Auto Detailing community, then definitely consider subscribing, because I come out with videos all the time just like this on products, tools, strategies, communication skills, business skills, and so much more, all in an effort to help the pro detailers become more more successful and profitable in their businesses. And on this channel, I share the same strategies that turn my business into a full-time income with part-time hours. So if that interests you, definitely subscribe. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I will see you guys in the next video. In this video, I'm gonna share with you guys several strategies that I use when I'm detailing in the sun. Now, let's get straight into it. What's going on? So glad you guys are here, and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. If you're a professional auto detailer who wants to become more successful and profitable in your business, or just a car enthusiast who wants to improve your detailing ability, then definitely consider hitting that big red subscribe button right below this video. So right now I'm on location detailing this Ford Raptor, and you guys can see not only is the exterior black, but also the interior is black. And so when I'm in the direct sunlight like this can become a problem, and it's a question I get all the time on the channel about how to detail cars in the sun. And so I want to take this opportunity, especially because it's a black car, to show you guys a couple strategies on this door and these panels while using not only my chemicals but also my steamer in order to get better results in the sun. So number one, just so you guys know, I'm going to be using an all-purpose cleaner that I don't normally use but that I've been using a lot, and I'm going to review it on the channel eventually. It's called Cleans All by Showcar.